And we'll just very, very quickly. So Isaiah chapter 28 is one of the most quoted passages in the New Testament. That's where you're, behold, I lay a Zion, a stone for the foundation, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone for sure, pointing towards, the idea of Jerusalem and Israel will make it through. But somebody have a title at the beginning of chapter 29?
Woe to Jerusalem, or woe to Ariel, actually.
Okay, woe to Jerusalem, woe to Ariel. Who repeated those words in the New Testament? Yeah, Jesus does in Matthew 24, right? Woe to you, Jerusalem, woe, woe. We've got a context of, it very, very clear. I will lead siege against you at the Mount 80, 70, right, of what Jesus was warning them about. We know that there's prophecy to come. Now, where do we jump into this? Verse 9 of Isaiah 29. Does somebody have a title there?
Blindness of disobedience.
Blindness of disobedience. Okay, so why don't we just read, we'll start with Neil again, 2 verses each. And we'll just see if wisdom, music, eating, drinking, like any of those things that we just read about come out of this passage.
Pause and wonder. Blind yourselves and be blind. They are drunk, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with intoxicating drink. For the Lord has poured out on you the spirit of deep sleep, and has closed your eyes, namely the prophets, and he has covered your heads, namely the seers.
The whole vision has become to you like the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one who is literate, saying, read this, please. And he says, I cannot, for it is sealed. Then the book is delivered to one who is illiterate, saying, read this. And he says, I am not literate.
Therefore the Lord said, inasmuch as these people draw near to me with their mouths and honor me with their lips, but have removed their hearts far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the commandment of men, therefore, behold, I will again do a marvelous work among this people, a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men will perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hidden.
Woe to those who seek deep to hide their counsel far from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. They say, who sees us, and who knows us? Surely you have things turned around. Shall the potter be esteemed as the clay? For shall the thing made say of him who made it, he did not make me? Or shall the thing formed say of him who formed it, he has no understanding?
Okay, so Tammy, we're just going to pause there. I have a title here, Future Recovery of Wisdom. And then I'm going to ask you to jump over, just because of time, to verse 22.
Therefore, thus says the Lord, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob. Jacob shall not now be ashamed, nor shall his face now grow paler. But when he sees his children, the work of my hands in his midst, they will hallow my name, and hallow the Holy One of Jacob, and fear the Lord of Israel.
These also who erred in spirit will come to understanding, and those who complained will learn doctrine.
Okay. So, broad brushstroke, if you were to read that chapter, right, it's the same context. God's going to deal with Israel. You've got flute in it. I know we didn't read it, but it's there. You've got music. You've got drinking. You've got wisdom. You've got children right there, like a spirit of understanding coming back. It's all contained in that chapter. So when you lay out all those points, the idea of wisdom is justified by her children. It also comes with the idea of blindness, disobedience. Ruth, you said it earlier. Didn't matter what John did or Jesus did, right? Bringing that message, they're still going to respond that way because that spirit of stupor is poured out on them.
So what I kind of wrote over the top of mine is, but worldly wisdom is defended by all her children.
Worldly wisdom.
Is defended by all, that's kind of what verse 35 is saying. And it immediately makes me go to the whole science
Okay,
falsely
let's
so
go
called that
back,
we've gone
let's go
through.
back to Luke again, that's an interesting observation.
It's kind of what we've had to deal with, all the stuff that went on the last 3 or 4 years of, you
Yeah.
know, science this, science that, science whatever, but if you actually compared it to real science, it didn't match up, but it was still the claim that everybody made, so everybody jumped on the bandwagon and all the children said, let's do, and
Yeah,
See, my first approach to that is I'm thinking God's wisdom is withheld or it's not being grasped from them, and it's almost like a side remark, like you guys can't get this. Wisdom is justified by our children.
well, the thing that got me was when I looked over here, it said it wasn't just God's wisdom.
Okay.
It's any kind of wisdom. And I went, oh, okay.
So that's your
So
commentary
then
that
is
states that?
It's the Strong's gives that definition, yeah, it's broad and full intelligence used for men,
Be an interesting word
science,
study.
that kind of stuff. It's like, it's a huge, it's SOPHO, so it's any, Sophia, it's any kind of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Any kind of logical thinking that's out there. And at that point, I immediately thought of the modern day stuff that we've had to deal with, where, you know, supposedly this was the wisdom, and this was the right, and this was the science, and this was the whatever, and you all had to bow the knee to this was being said, whether it was real or not, everybody just kind of followed on in a band, and that's, children will do that. You know, everybody gets on a bandwagon with all the other kids, and they gang up on one person. I was the one that got ganged up on, you know, the back when I was a kid, so I know about that. Kids will flock to whoever they think is the leader of whatever they think is the whatever, you know, and follow it.
Okay. That's a good direction of something we're talking about, wisdom.
But yeah, like originally I was thinking, well, how does that have anything to do with godly wisdom? But when you think about the fact that McGee was saying they're a bunch of pouting little kids,
yeah.
and I was like, okay, it's worldly wisdom. When worldly kids get together and they defend their position. You know, I could use a classic example. When I was teaching in Greenville County, this guy beat up on his girlfriend. And so the social studies teacher said, let's do a survey in class. How many of you think he was justified? And half the class is like, actually more than half the class was like, yeah, he's justified because she made him mad. And that's exactly this.
Okay.
Their wisdom was, well, she made him mad, so therefore it's okay that he beat her up. And that's that whole picture right there. You know, if we're going to talk about a bunch of kids being pouty weepy, and
You made me mad you didn't do it my way, so therefore I get to beat you up.
you know, act like kids
This
for a
is saying
sec.
this is what the men of this generation are like.
Yeah. I think
And they are.
when like my practical application, I just wrote this down underneath verse 35. Jesus, like, again, the message, the context, Israel's in a dangerous place before God. It's a funeral procession, like it's a somber music. God sent John the Baptist, they rejected him. Jesus came, right? They're rejecting him like the Son of Man. This is the darkest, I wrote this down, this is the darkest time of Israel's history. And they still won't get it. They still can't get it. That wisdom is justified by your children. You're not really part of Israel when you're rejecting that part, like we get into this. So my practical application would be, there is times where you can't do anything.
It doesn't matter what you say.
And they still won't. And it might be because they can't. Because people can harden their hearts, right, to the place where God says, fine. And that goes for Christians too. Right? It's
And it's sobering to watch that go down.
yeah.
Because I've seen that over
Yeah.
20 years of working with people. Where you tried to help somebody and they just, and you just watch 20 years of a messed up life and you go, man.
Yeah, but I mean, and we could have many, we could look at church structure too. I mean, we got groups of people. It's not just individuals that are responding this way. You have groups
Yeah.
of people that say, no, that's God's plan. That's his program. We're not interested.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You got others, the tax collectors that are responding. You got disciples that followed Jesus until things got a little confusing, and then they followed him no more. Right, you got a lot of different things that went with that.
I like the description in chapter 30 of Isaiah there. I just skipped ahead. Talks about rebellious people. Go right on the scroll. This is a rebellious people, lying children. Children who will not hear the law of the Lord, who say to the seers, do not see. They don't want you to see. Tell them, no more seeing. And to the prophets, do not prophesy to us right things. Speak to us smooth things. Prophesy deceits. Get out of the way, turn aside from the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. That's
So
essentially what
yeah.
We don't want no more
It's the
of
same,
God.
same thing.
Yeah.
Driving God away.
John came
That was
not
which
eating,
passage?
you wouldn't listen to him,
Yeah.
right? The Son of Man came eating and drinking and part of you, and you wouldn't listen to them.
38 and
Okay.
8 to 11, chapter 30.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah, so it's, and I don't think when he says, no, you're like children, I don't think the Pharisees were like, oh, I have no idea, why would he compare us to children? It's Isaiah coming alive
Yeah.
there.
I think the
Disobedient
Pharisees always knew
children.
what he meant, and that's why they're so mad.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I think they're like, oh, he said.
Yeah, well, you think anybody there that handled the Old Testament the way they did, you think they're that they at least
I think they clue in.
clue in, or at the same time, they were probably the liberal way of reasoning away what Jesus was teaching. Well, that's not really what he meant, or that's like, why would he, that's not what we teach.
Yeah.
Always makes you wonder if he was quoting that passage. You know, these people are children who won't hear the law.
I'm telling you, the message was the same.
Wow.
Right? I mean, when the apostles and Jesus was teaching publicly, it wasn't like I have a new, sometimes maybe, but I have a new revelation. No, it was God's program, God's will, God's plan. This is what Isaiah talked about. This is what Zechariah, this is what's next. That didn't change till, I'm going to say, 427 AD.
As children can look at Jesus and go, seen everything you've done. You see the righteous acts of God. It's all true. We deny it. You're a demon. Wow, just
Yeah.
blows your mind, doesn't it? You are a demon.
But guess what, Lawrence? Those are the people we're called to go to, right? You know, if we wanted to keep on going practicing, you can see churches empty out just as fast as people are coming in, right? And they're like, no, haven't heard this before, not interested, false teaching, we would rather go nowhere. Or we would rather go, somewhere else. And it's like, but they still need that message. Right? They still need the patience as we present these truths and rub shoulders with them. Maybe they want the music a little bit more like a funeral dirge. I mean, we could, it would be fun to whiteboard it, like what are people looking for? Is there a message of the gospel without wrath? Chris always says, no, you need to know what you're saved from, right?
People want a nice, happy message. They don't want to hear, hellfire and brimstone. They want to hear
Yeah.
something each 3 years, like kumbaya.
Now,
Well, Jeremiah was sent to that all the way
Yeah.
back there, and Jesus,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
God
that's
told
kinda-
him, you're gonna be telling people who don't wanna hear a thing you have to say.
when I was
Most of the
talking with
prophets were
Jake
told
about
that,
the seriousness of something, I'm like, I because we have good family and friends around, like I'm past that stage of being heartbroken and depressed and anxious there that I'm doing, like, that's not being prideful, it's just like, this is the humanity and God's people we're called to try and convince that there's more, right?
You hear so much all the time about all these new, like these churches that are not preaching the gospel, preaching false, and people are just flocking to
Yeah.
these, some of the
Mega
nutcases.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how can you believe
they're
this? But
itching.
it is so easy. Like, I listened to a little bit of something this morning, and I thought, that's how you could because they were twisting everything. And then there was these guys that were, critiquing what he said and wasn't right. And I thought, that could I can see easily a person thinking all what he's saying. Because the first he starts off, and through most of his sermon, his talk or whatever, it's all about himself and how he prophesied these things and God told him this, and he knows things before they happen, and and that's how he brought in quoted one scripture, I guess, in the whole sermon, and then the rest was just
And that's
about
funny, I was just listening to that
But
exact stuff in
himself.
Ezekiel. You claim that you've made these prophecies and
Yeah.
they're not coming to pass, but you still try to believe them, that they're gonna come to pass.
I think
Yeah.
it's another situation
That's
though, where
interesting.
like we think it's a unique problem for the church, and
No.
it isn't, because because of the things that I like to research. Obviously the algorithm is feeding me ads and things
Feeding you
that
something.
they think that I'm gonna be interested in.
right.
And I find it really interesting how there's always
Is that why we have to go home and pick peas? Because you've been researching?
No, there's a market, a huge market of basically a scam, which is what a false gospel would be, for like easy diets, lose weight quick, take a pill.
Oh, yeah.
Here's my system to be healthy and, prevent
30
all
days
these-
to 30,
yeah, okay. So I'm just thinking that's exactly the same thing. People are I obviously would love to listen to someone who could scientifically tell me why I should have chocolate cake every day. Right? That sounds
It's
amazing.
not cake, it's bread.
Shh, what? And I just think, once again, we think this is just so unique to the church, but it isn't.
No.
It's human nature. We
And that's-
cannot be caught chasing after that,
Mhm.
because they want easy, fast, quick, likable, feels good. And I mean, that it's in every area of their life. Something's hard, you're gonna have to exercise and stop eating so much. That's the only way really to do, that's, so it's just,
I liken it to a coworker of mine said last week. She said she wants to go to the doctor and get diagnosed with ADD so she can get a pill so she can calm down. And I looked at her,
are you
What?
on crack?
what? So they want a pill. People want a pill.
What do they do? They want-
Why do you
That's
think
what it is.
Ozempic is so popular?
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, take Ozempic, everybody. Get paralyzed bowels.
And lose all your bone density,
Yeah.
destroys your bones.
It's not working.
Destroys your bones.
Anyways, it's like that. It's like, give me a pill or give me something. a
Well,
little
they're fed
tidbit
that
of-
perpetually
from
with all the
Bible.
ads, 3,000 plus a day. And after a while,
That's
you
what they're-
didn't
the
tell a lie
doctors
long
are
enough.
trained to do though, here's a pill. I
Yeah.
don't care why you're having the problem, I just want
Right.
you to,
So all of this is describing the humanity,
Yeah.
the same humanity that Jesus went to.
Yeah,
Right.
Right?
exactly.
back to being children.
Yeah, well, children, yeah, they already have their minds made up, right? And
Don't
they're,
tell us
they're
the
picking
truth.
and
Don't tell
choosing,
us.
you know,
Yeah, don't
John the
tell us that.
Baptist, Jesus, does it line up with what I think, how I'm feeling, does it serve my needs? And that was part of the reason why I sent that spirit-led church shopping document. The deacons again, I think that's a good conversation to have had, but wisdom is justified by all our children. So that would be where we make our boundaries. You know, even sometimes it's like, okay, what's coming out of your mouth, that's great. What does your life look like?
And this
I mean,
term
wisdom is
justified here is
applying.
not the same as justified in verse 29, because in that case, they are justifying what God is doing and saying it's right. And in this case, they're justifying what they think is their wisdom.
Okay, well, let's study it out.
And that-
Like,
yeah.
it's like, I know we're making first pass, but there'll be a few different applications. But if we were to park in Isaiah, like it's always, you know, the understanding of the wise will come back, right? There will be a remnant saved, like Romans, there will be that come out of it, so.
It amazes me, thinking back to children of Israel, all that they went through, all the, how God just basically wiped out most of them. There was still a little remnant left that faithful remnant. And as much as we look around now in this day and age and we see people falling away, churches are emptying, there's that little remnant still there.
Yeah.
That gives you hope.
Well, and I do hope, I hope everyone here, and I look around, I know we are, we're connected with churches outside of like this New Brunswick circle that
Right.
seems to be that way. And
Yeah.
there are churches that are doing well, there's
Mhm.
awakenings,
Yeah.
there's Bible studies, there's young people that are like
Yeah.
college and careers that are coming around to, we need to know, you know, because our parents didn't teach us, like, there's a lot of that going on, so the idea of you know, looking around Coldstream and bemoaning life and the spirit's inactivity in this area, let's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that what-
He is at work. We just don't see
Big
it
time.
because we're not. Sometimes we get in our own little bubble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just because we're just trying to live day to day, and other times it's because we focus too much on
Mm-hmm.
bad parts.
What seems to be going wrong, yeah, not seems to be
Yeah.
going wrong.
Well, yeah, we better transition to prayer. I mean, I'm comfortable staying up and praying, I'm comfortable if the guys want to go down